Shamaya, you did it.
STL Music.
Is that good? Welcome back to the show. Yo, listen up, we back in the game. Sweep the league, we got the flame. Motivated to the fullest every single day. We wake up, get in every way. Right from the 222 and the global inspiration. Talk this sports and top news, no hesitation. Sweep the league is back. We always coming back, that's a fact. Wanna tell them that STL Music, mama, we did it, where we at? Coach Jill in the house with the flow so tight. Every rubber rock stats, we unite. Yeah, the best show, Monday through Friday. If this ain't different, they lying. We got the energy. When I say sweep, you say the league. Sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go.
Hey, it's Rain Fernandez, and you're watching Sweep the League. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and Facebook at Rain Fernandez, Rayne Fernandez.
Hi, it's Sherilyn, and you're watching Sweep the League TV. Follow me on Instagram at official Sherilyn for more content.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
Sweep the League TV where legends collide. If the Cowboys fall short, we'll still ride the tide. Like Jordan in the clutch or Brady's last play. We bring the fire, keeping fans in the fray. Gio and Marie calling the shots with Derek Coventry, Hall of Fame thoughts. So hit that subscribe, don't sit on the bench. Get in the game, every highlight's intense. The live stream's on, tell your friends to play. Like Kobe in the fourth, we're here to play. Sweep the League TV, where greatness resides. From the bars at the drive to Mahomes on the rise. We're all in on sports, NBA, CFB, and more for fans. By fans, it's the show you'll adore. The Navy needs Maverick. The kid needs Maverick. That's why I fought for you. That's why you're still here.
Thank you, Ice, for everything.
One last thing. Who's the better pilot? You or me?
This is a nice moment. Let's not ruin it.
All right, welcome to Sweep the League. Rudy Campos Jr. going to be joined by Coach Gio himself. And, of course, Hollywood did lose a legend the other night. Well, last night, actually, and Val Kilmer passed away at the age of 65, very young, 65. Little tribute to him here in the background. As you can tell, we've got our little Top Gun background here for you guys out there. So we're going to talk a little bit of Outcomer to start the evening tonight. Also, Nikola Jokic, I've been, back and forth with Jeff Garcia on Locked On Spurs about where he ranks. And then I was told about Prime Tim, Prime Nikola. I said, the small edge of me, we don't know how much of a prime Joker has in him. What we're seeing right now is just unbelievable. How much better can he be? Also, guys, we're going to have Austin Hartsfield, Painting Corner's own Austin Hartsfield, the newest addition to the Sweep the League network. He's going to be joining us here later tonight to talk about torpedo bats and everything baseball related. So for you MLB guys out there, get ready for Austin Hartsfield plus AAU basketball. The late, great Kobe Bryant made some comments on it, but I've kind of witnessed a little bit more about AAU basketball recently. It's not good. Maybe it's time to start looking at AAU basketball differently. We'll get into those topics and everything else under the sun. Let's bring in our host of the evening as well, Mr. Coach Gio himself, back from Las Vegas, man. How you doing, Gio? Mike is either muted or it's unplugged. Man, look at this guy. Takes a long vacation and he a
minute. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. See, that's the problem. You take a long vacation and man.
Well, I was off mute. No, I was sick for about a week and some change.
You were. Yeah, you were.
So kind of getting over that. And then I went up to Chicago, which I normally seem like I do nowadays, to see some family. So a little bit busy, but glad to be here. If you hear any thunderstorms, Rudy, I have a tornado warning. Hear me. But I'm still doing the show, though, even though with the tornado warning. So I'm here.
Look at that. Well, FYI, my wife is on a company trip, and she's in Nashville. So she's about to get bombarded with all those warnings and everything as well. So prayers to you, prayers to my wife out there in Nashville, man. I heard it's going to be pretty bad this evening. Joel Colon says, good evening. I know you like talking baseball, Joel. We're going to talk baseball here in a little bit with Austin Hartsfield, the second part of the show. He's going to be joining us here, Painting Corner's own Austin Hartsfield, Locked On Spurs himself. Hope we did a little bit of a good thing for you, Jeff, and for Edmund out there for the Val Kilmer tribute, the Top Gun Maverick, as you notice his last scene in a movie, and then of course the passing of Iceman in the movie. He says, Rudy, you think Iceman, so did Mav, at Top Gun as his best competition or no? No doubt, man. I mean, if you watch Top Gun, it's Iceman, it's Maverick, and I mean, is that like the rookie of the year, Gio, when Jason Kidd and Grant Hill tied? I mean, they technically should have just both won. I mean, that movie, I think, you think Top Gun was flawless, like a flawless movie? It's
really good, really, really good. I thought Tom Cruise. I mean, the second one was also, I mean, not the nostalgia of the first one, obviously, but Tom did a really good job in both those films. If you haven't seen it, whoever's listening, please go rent it. You don't have to go on Redbox anymore. You don't gotta go get that little discount. Just go rent it.
Was that Redbox? Is that what that was? I can't remember.
Yeah, remember they sometimes, I do see it every so often at some random place, but CVS, Walgreens, well, I think Walmart also had it.
Yeah, Walmart had it. $1. You could rent a movie for $1. $1 a day, wasn't it? Until you returned it.
Yeah, and then if you go even further back, remember, I'm showing my age, but Blockbuster on a Friday night was
Blockbuster. Hollywood Video for you HEB guys in Texas.
I think
actually Hollywood Video was up north because when I lived in Ohio, they had a Hollywood Video.
Yeah, Rudy, I think there's only one Blockbuster left. I think it's in Oregon, if I'm not mistaken.
Isn't it the original one?
I don't know, but there's one. Blockbuster had a chance to buy Netflix, Rudy. They said, "What is this? This doesn't make any sense."
Mail your DVDs in.
That was their first concept, and then obviously it grew from there. But man, talk about a missed opportunity for Blockbuster.
Yeah, well, one thing for sure that's never missed is Mr. Leha himself. What's good, everyone? We are in the building. Christopher Leha, man. But one thing that is never, ever going to be missed is the work that MCS General Contracting does. They are 100% backed by us here at Sweep the League. They work off of their own word. They guarantee their work MCS General Contracting, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. If you need any work done, head to work from driveways to you business owners that need parking lots, contact Chris Leha and the boys today. MCS General Contracting, the absolute best guys in the business, backed by us 100%. What is up, Leha? They are in the building, man. Giving our tributes here to Val Kilmer. And see Jeff starting early. We're gonna let that. What the kids say, Gio? We're gonna let it simmer, and then we're gonna let cook a little bit here. The Jokic talk, because I knew Jeff was gonna come at me with the Jokic and Tim Duncan thing. He's been on me like that for about a week, maybe a couple of weeks now. But now that you're back, let's see if you can put me back in my place and make sure that I'm thinking straight here. So we'll get to that in a minute, Jeff. But as far as Kilmer goes, now obviously Kilmer passed away, 65 years of age. I mean, could you say one of the quietest, legendary careers in acting? I mean, you've got Top Secret was one of my all-time favorite comedies. He played Nick Rivers in there. I mean, it was a must-see TV back in the day. Obviously, Real Genius, a classic, 80s classic. Top Gun was his third movie. I mean, he started off with winners all the way down to Tombstone. I mean, I actually liked Saint. Heat. He was in Heat, Batman Forever. I mean, could you say quietly one of the best careers for an actor?
I forgot where you just remembered the whole Batman with the whole.
He's not the worst.
I think the director was Schumacher. Or no, was it Schumacher? Yeah, I think it was. Those movies are always thinking back, yes, cringy, but hey, I thought Val was also really good at what he did, and he was very versatile, Rudy. But also quiet as well. It almost felt a little Bruce Wayne to me, to a certain extent. Like he obviously played Bruce, but just kind of a quiet, normal guy. I mean, obviously, Rudy, he's dealt with cancer all those years, and it robbed him, Rudy, of what could have been even. Because, Rudy, sometimes you have a great early on career. Look at Keanu Reeves, right? I mean, he came onto the scene, Rudy. I mean, The Matrix and other films, takes time off. And has anyone seen John Wick? I mean, it's movie after movie after movie. We were robbed from him. He could have had a second act that, unfortunately, we never got to see. We did see him in Top Gun, but a little bit different. But rest in peace. Versatile actor, many different roles. Would truly be missed.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that's the first thing that I thought of was his career was, it was robbed, obviously, but it's one of those careers where you look back and like, Jesus, man, this guy had a massive amount of hits and really good movies. And Jeff asking, did Val do a better job as Bats or better as Wayne? That's tough. So for me personally, the worst Batman ever, I think. I mean, I don't like Clooney. I'm not a big Clooney guy on Batman, and I know a lot of people like. Some people like him. I wasn't a big George Clooney guy.
Did you see the end of Flash?
Yes, I did.
Where Clooney's essentially
comes back as Bruce Wayne. Yeah,
as Bruce Wayne. Clooney probably isn't now clearly the best. Was he the worst? I mean, I guess we don't have a lot to go by because we obviously have Bane, and you know what? Patterson's Batman, I know gets a lot of.
Oh, Pattinson, yeah, Robert Pattinson, yeah.
He gets a lot of heat, Rudy, but I've enjoyed, the Batman. He's early on in his career. It's very dark. Yeah. It's a different take, but I kind of like Clooney, but it is cheesy though. It's a very cheesy Batman. And who can forget, Rudy? Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze, which was also another cringy role there.
I mean, I think obviously Batman 1 with Keaton was, out of that series was the best. I mean, Nicholson's Joker, second to Ledger's Joker. I mean, I don't think anyone can ever top Heath Ledger's performance as Joker. And even at that, people argue on that. People argue on the fact that maybe Nicholson was better. I don't know. Heath Ledger's Joker, Nicholson's Joker was not, I can't say comic. I guess comic accurate. It was really really comic book and really brought that to life. But I think Ledger's Joker was true Joker, as in crazy MFer. I don't care about anything. And that's why, I think I have Ledger over Nicholson. But in that universe, in the Batman universe there, I mean, obviously one was good. At 2, when you started getting DeVito as the Penguin and Pfeiffer as Catwoman, it kind of started to okay, you kind of saw it going more towards, and then you get, the Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey and then Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I'm like, all right,
Well,
it just became too cartoonish is what it did.
Michael Keaton was supposed to play in that third Batman. Apparently, it was supposed to be even dark.
It was supposed to be a dark version of it.
And obviously, it didn't work out. So they go kind of a way different direction.
Yeah.
You get Batman Forever and, Robin, Batgirl. But really, George Clooney is probably 6th, right? He probably, I don't think he's terrible. But if you're ranking them, like you said, Clooney is probably by far the worst Batman. I thought Ben Affleck wasn't terrible. I know he also got some heat for that. But probably Bale and Keaton are probably, I'll say, top 2.
So Bale, Michael Keaton it's got to be up there. There's no doubt about that. And there's other comments coming in. Joel saying, Doc Holliday, I'm your Huckleberry, of course. The Ghost in the Dark. I forgot about the Ghost in the Darkness. Another, classic from Kilmer there. He was a very underrated Batman. Joel says Clooney was the worst Batman so far.
Rudy,
best.
Can we add, just as a wild card, how about the Bruce Wayne from the animated series? That Batman is also pretty legit, as obviously a childhood of mine.
I will allow it, as they do say, the kids say in the memes. I will allow. Val Kilmer's best movie in the 80s hit was Real Genius. Real Genius was in the 80s by far. I'm a big Top Secret guy. I love Top Secret, that comedy. A lot of stuff would probably get canceled today, but more than anything, I would go Bale 1. People would put Keaton 1 in most cases.
Yeah,
people really love Keaton. I would never argue the fact if you put Michael Keaton number 1. Me, I like Bale. I think Keaton. Is it fair to say if Keaton would have gave us a trilogy, then I could have probably put him a little bit higher. Then I could have probably put him higher.
Because it was still pretty dark. It was still pretty somewhat dark, kind of like that environment. So, and I think Tim Burton directed those films, so obviously it's going to have that dark approach. So,
yeah, and Pattinson, I don't like. I'm not against it. I enjoyed the Batman, and I think you can get a little bit of Keaton, a little bit of Bale, a little bit of everything in Pattinson. I like the dark tone. It was really good dark tone for me. I like that.
Well, Rudy, we're getting a new Batman in the kind of the DCU universe. I forgot his name, but I think it was announced either yesterday or today or something like that. Or maybe it was an April Fool's joke. I don't know, but I think they announced a new DCU Batman. Not sure why you couldn't bring Robert, but I know it's separate. It's a different, kind of like the Joker movies,
Oh God,
it's Joker, but it's not Joker, right? Like it's a different twist. But
that was one of the worst. The first Joker was okay.
The first Joker was actually pretty sinister, Rudy. The second one, honestly, I haven't seen, and people say you're not missing anything.
I'm never gonna see it.
Yeah, it's a musical, I think, and I'm not really the biggest musical guy, so I might take a pass on that.
He had a thing for older women and dated Cher. I think she was 12 years older than him. Jeez, man.
Dude, how old is Cher at this point? She's gotta be close to 70 or 80, right? I got
probably what, 70s maybe. I would know. Well, maybe 70s. I'll throw her 70s. Austin in here. Austin's gonna be joining us later for some Torpedo talk, Torpedo baseball bat talk, man. And he's gonna talk some more baseball. I know you're ready because you have your Seattle's Mariners jersey. It's clean now, but it's gonna have holes in it, I'm sure, at the end of the year by all the frustrations you're gonna be feeling. He's got Clooney by a mile. I don't think he was the only one. And I hear Rudy and GR and Talks to Star and Wombat and Cocktail Boy. Yeah. Probably so. Probably so. I'll let Gio take the lead on that one then.
How about Blank Man?
Oh God.
Blank Man, wasn't that
that was
I think the Wayans, right? Or
that I think that was the Wayans.
Yeah.
That was the Wayans, that had that. The first Joker had one of the most real lines that described today's I don't believe in anything. That line was heavy. That is true. See, the first Joker I was okay with. I liked it, but that Joker 2 was absolute trash. It was garbage. And I don't know, man. I don't know. We're gonna have to get into some nerd talk here pretty soon. And yeah, Damon Wayans is Blank Man. So yeah, nonetheless. But we did talk about Val Kilmer for a little bit here. Doing our little tribute to Val Kilmer, at least for the first part of the show here. You can see Top Gun in the background there. Val Kilmer passed away. We'll run the tribute again at the end of the show in case you missed it here at the beginning here. But again, Val Kilmer passed away at the age of 65. Moving on here, we got Austin Hartsfield coming up here later on in the show, talking to us about the Torpedo bat incident. You know, the Yankees taking advantage, and we're going to get his thoughts on it. We're going to get Gio's thoughts on that. Also, a little bit more baseball talk. But right now, Nikola Jokic, man, he had a pretty good night last night. How good of a night? Let's take a look, Joe.
Jokic got the screen into Gobert. Jokic to Westbrook and back to Nikola for three. Hits a second one. No, they don't blink, and they know this team well, and vice versa. Westbrook, Jokic from 15, fouled. Count it. And Gordon, here is Jokic. Brown. They got Pickett in there and Watson. Three, Jokic. Wow. What a weapon. Often. Jokic will now drive on the big man for the Wolves. Jokic spinning, shooting, scoring. It's back on top and Watson a three. Rebound Jokic. Gobert there behind the back. Sneaks one inside. Christian Brown, who pokes it away. Doubled by Gobert. Jokic is free and a three.
Yeah, as you can tell, Nikola Jokic just went bonkers last night. 61 points, career high, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals, 6 of 11 from 3-point range. First 60.
Did they lose still though?
First 60-point triple double and a loss in NBA history. Now, I'll say, you swallow the whistle at the end there, please. I mean, it's tough to make that call. I get, he was fouled, but as a ref in that moment, man, you got to swallow the whistle. You got to swallow the riddle. Why did Kilmer go into seclusion? Well, I mean, from what I know, he was sick. He was dealing with it was throat cancer is what he had. So he was sick, and he just, he may have been sick before, all of it came out. So you all right? You got any sirens going off?
Well, we did. I was just, I thought I heard someone's car maybe got hit by a tree. I don't know.
Oh, well, if you need to go, you need to go, man.
Oh, no. I have a garage parking, so I'm good, Rudy.
Oh, you're good. All right. So, yeah, Austin said about throat cancers. Yeah, that's why he was away. But in Nikola Jokic, now, I'm going to bring up the comment that Jeff made. I'm going to leave it up there for a little while because, obviously Jeff wants to get me back in the squared circle for a lot of the guys that come at me at stuff on this stuff. But he's asking, could Pete Duncan have clamped Jokic last night with him dropping 60 points, tripled up? Now, a while back, Gio, I don't know if you knew the conversation that I had. I was on Sweep the League. We were talking about Nikola Jokic and, Prime Joker against so-and-so, so-and-so. Jeff brought up Prime Duncan versus Prime Joker. I said, okay, I know what we had in Prime Duncan. Elite defender, top defender, no doubt about that. And I said on the offensive side, dominant on the post, 100% dominant on the post. Never will neglect that at all. But here's the thing. I said, for me, I don't know if we're watching Prime Joker yet or he's got more in the tank to get to that next level. So I told Jeff, as of right now, without knowing exactly what Jokic is going to be, and only because Jokic could do more on the outside of the perimeter, I would almost take Joker on a 1-game match. Now, if it's best of 7, I would probably go Tim because Tim can wear him down a lot quicker. But in one game, I would probably take Joker. just because he has a little bit more creativity on the offensive side of the ball. So again, I got a lot of flack for it, and I stick by my guns on that. I do still that. But then before I get your take on that, you had Jay Williams come out today, and he basically said what I was telling Jeff. You were probably watching a player who can arguably be, and I'm not quoting him, I'm kind of paraphrasing it here, arguably be the greatest big man to ever play the game when it's all said and done. So that kind of feeds into what I was trying to tell Jeff, is that, Duncan, greatest power forward ever. But with Joker, I mean, the path that he's on, could he end up being the greatest of all time when it comes to the big man? And hell, some guys are even saying he could be the greatest player of all time when it's all said and done. I won't go that far, but as far as big man goes. So you take your pick. You want the Duncan talk first, or do you want to go on the career path for Nikola Jokic?
Well, I mean, look, I'm not blind. What he's doing right now is special. He's a tremendous player. Now, you do realize the defensive player of the year is guarding him.
Yeah.
That just shows you who's the defensive player of the year from last year, at least.
Oh, 100%.
Is a guy who's literally not doing anything. He's backing up while Jokic is just straight up just shooting shots. But we could talk about that for another day. But I'm still picking Duncan, Rudy.
And that's fair. That's fair.
I want to talk about defense because, listen, 15-time all defensive performer, Rudy. I mean, his defensive win share, is out of this world, what he did defensively. And what Duncan had to go up against every night compared to what Jokic is going up against every night, let's be fair, it's not the same, Rudy.
It's not.
He's going up against, a lot of times these teams don't even have any centers, Rudy, nowadays, right? It's these guys who are these quote-unquote stretch playing center, and Jokic is just taking these boys to work. Joel and B don't play back-to-back, so he don't play at all. So he's not there. Rudy, what other center is comparable or even remotely close to Jokic right now? I mean, Wembanyama, he's on his way, but he's nowhere near right now.
Yeah.
There's no competition. It's just him. He's doing this on a nightly basis. Now, Anthony Davis is a really good player. He's also always hurt, at least this season, it seems like. And, I'll throw Anthony's name out there. He's also been in the league. But really, in general, Duncan had what? Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Garnett, an underrated player in Rasheed Wallace.
Ben Wallace. Dealing with Ben
Wallace, right?
His defenders. Yeah.
Duncan at times also guarded Shaq as well.
Yeah.
I can go on. Chris Webber, Rudy, a formidable power forward. Karl Malone for a bit. Look, I just, the competition isn't there, but I'm not taking anything away from Jokic. Rudy, he is a phenomenal one. We're watching right now with his kind of slow-mo, right? Like, it's just,
yeah.
It kind of reminds me of The Undertaker, right? Really slow punches, right? Really slow
example.
Right?
Yeah.
Really slow approach. Shout out to Undertaker. But it's really, it's not the greatest thing to watch sometimes. It's kind of boring. But, man, he's lighting them up. And really, I do want to see more championships from him, though. Like, I do want to see that aspect. But, man, Duncan against him would be definitely something I would love to watch. But I'm going to go on the side of Tim Duncan.
All right. Again, I am never going to argue back with anybody on that. Never will I argue back. If you're going to take Tim Duncan, you've got reasons behind it. You're right. Joker's not playing against better competition in the post compared to what Tim did. Tim even went up at the beginning of his career. He was up against Patrick Ewing and a lot of these guys that were in their older parts, but still strong as hell. We're not going to deny any of those. Those guys.
He
Alonzo
had
Mourning, there's guys out there that they had to deal with. So no doubt at all if you're going to take him. But my question now, and let me get some of the comments because they're coming in, big time now. Joel saying, Jokic is a different kind of beast. He's slow as fuck, but still dominates. Crazy talent. Again, yeah. Shout out to Rogue Shinobi. Appreciate you joining us here on the stream. Clamped, no, but he'd have 34-8 and 4 blocks right back at him for sure. And that, again, that is true. You said it, Rudy. Would Timmy go out to the perimeter to guard him at 3-point line? If Joker's hitting that 3 against Tim, it's very difficult for Tim to defend him, because now Tim has to respect the shot and Joker can dribble around him. So, but Timmy has good recovery. So again, it's back and forth.
And Rudy,
it's a back and forth thing.
Prime 2003 Duncan. We obviously know what he did against the finals.
Yeah.
But go watch that Spurs Lakers series, Rudy.
Oh, yeah.
Go tell me what Duncan was doing to old Robert Horry and Shaq.
Yeah. I again, yeah, prime. We know what we've got in Prime Duncan, and that's the next point I wanted to get with you. Gio, you just want an MCS. You want a hat. He's gonna get in contact with me. I'm gonna shout out. I'm gonna give Leha your address here so he can send you all the MCS goodies, man. So again, shout out to MCS General Contracting, proud sponsors of Sweep the League, and you know what? They've got hats and everything, man. So not only are they going to do the work right the first time, they can also hook you up with a hat from time to time if you're one of their best customers. All you do is call them, get something squared away. Rudy, you are still wrong. Look at that, Gio. Jokic is still the greatest player for the style of the league he's playing. Duncan is on a different level, like Jordan, Bird, and Magic. Duncan adapts. Jokic does not. Again, I am not arguing the fact on that. Duncan is considered, even by me, probably top 5 all-time NBA player. Arguably could be number 2. I mean, I won't lie, could be number 2. You could put him probably ahead of Mike in some instances if you really think about it. I mean, to be honest, it's always going to be Mike and Kareem 1 and 2 for me, or 1A, 1B. If you want to put Duncan 3, I have 0 issues with Duncan at 3. I mean, the career he's had, made playoffs every time of his career, didn't have a season below 50 wins every year in his 19-year career. Yeah. I mean, 5 titles, 5-1 in the finals, if not for a rebound or Ray Allen shot or a pop mistake. The Spurs are 6-0 basically. So again, I won't argue that fact, Gio. But do you think Tim Duncan would have clamped Joker last night? So prime Duncan, defensive player of the year. Well, defensive player. Would he clamp him last night? That's a good question.
He's going to do better than old Frenchman over there. That's all I'm going to say about that. The Frenchman was there looking lost, having his hands up, having his hands down, doesn't know what's going on. I think Duncan could, the dude went for 61, and he was shooting, Rudy, 3-point shots. Now, Prime Duncan does have David Robinson in the post, too, Rudy.
See, there it is.
I'm just saying. Now, it's not Prime Dave, right? Like, it's obviously 2000, 2003. Dave has that back issue. So it's not the same David Robinson, Rudy, but you do got the Twin Towers there. He's not getting 61 with the Towers there. Could he get 30? If he's shooting like that? It's possible.
So perfect. You brought up a point that just hit me in the head right now. You brought up something. You're talking Jokic last night with the stat line of 61, 11, and 10. And Jeff is saying, does Tim clamp him down? But Tim has always been side by side with another 6'11" plus player. After Dave, it was guys like Rasho Nesterovic, who's I think no. It's height 7'1".
Okay. All right.
And then you've got Alberto, you've got Tiago. No, I'm saying you've got height. It's back to back. So they're not Twin Towers, but they've got height. So something like that, you're definitely going to affect Joker.
Yeah. I mean, if it's Prime Duncan and Robinson, no, he is no way in heck he's getting 61.
He's probably 16, 18 points.
Yes, he's probably getting
easily
close to that. But that is an older Robinson. But no, it's dude, he was on another level last night shooting, and they still lost already, which is kind of it's just crazy to me. 60 points and your team still loses.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. 60 point career triple double, and the only one to ever happen in an NBA loss. Is Jokic a Hall of Famer already? easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's no
easily.
Rudy, where does he rank? Is he a center, right? He's basically a center, right?
He's a center. He's considered a center. So
where does he rank in your eyes amongst the big men?
Man, I was hoping you wouldn't ask me this because this is a tough one. I mean, we really technically don't know where he finished stats wise, but if you see what he's doing, Gio, I mean, the guy could end his career averaging a triple double for his career. And if he does that, okay, so if he gets another MVP, that'll put him at what, 3 or 4? I think it's 4.
4.
And then if he gets another title, that'll put him at 2. 4 MVPs, 2 titles, finishes the career with a triple double career average. Number 2 all time. I don't know if I can put him above Kareem. It's hard.
So if you're looking at some of the centers, and we talked about George Mike, and he's definitely above George. He's definitely above Patrick. I love Moses Malone a lot. I think low-key kind of underrated, Rudy, in my eyes, even though, people talk about him and know him, but he would definitely be over David, though I think Prime David was phenomenal. But Rudy, I mean, he's getting up right now to Hakeem and I think Shaq's level, right? Like he's and Shaq also, I don't know if you saw the comment he made.
He'd have 40 on Jokic.
He said he's barbecue and chicken, but we're looking at the whole career. Yeah. And let's be real, Rudy. We saw what Shaq was doing at the end of his career.
Yeah.
Well, he was doing nothing, right? Like he was literally championship surfing. He went to Boston. He went to Cleveland. We know what Shaq was. Really, at the end of Joker's career, you're right. He's got to potentially be in the top 3. You obviously have Wilt, Russell, and Kareem that are kind of in that mix. Though Wilt, some people say Shaq over him. Whatever the case may be, Rudy, you're right. He's probably going to be number 2 when it's all said and done.
Does he have a chance to top Kareem, though? What would it take? Now, MVPs, I think he can get there.
He needs more championships, Rudy.
It's got to be championships, right?
And
that means he probably has to leave Denver.
Do you think he gets one?
Guy.
Do you think he gets one this year? Because I don't.
No. I think, no.
Unless they go on a run, right? But I don't know if this team, at least right now in the next few years, he may need to leave. But already right now I know Shaq said barbecue chicken or whatever he said, but you still got to put some respect on his name.
You do. And that's the thing. I've got him over, man, Spurs fans are going to kill me, but maybe they'll kill you too for saying something. I got him over Dave. I've got him over Patrick.
Yeah, no.
I
mean,
listen,
I love David. I
love
really
Dave, yeah.
do, Rudy. If you go look at his highlights, it's one of the rare breeds of his kind. But I just, when it's all said and done, statistically, but Rudy, this is what happens though in every era, right? Like we talk about Troy Aikman. You go look at his stats, Rudy. You're thinking, well, Troy wasn't that great. Well, listen, I don't want to disrespect Troy Aikman. A lot of people always do. Also, Terry Bradshaw, they like to make fun of his career and his stats. But really, Joe Namath. Joe, I love you, New York, but like your stats are terrible, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just all that. And Patrick Mahomes, Rudy, look what he's doing, right? It's every generation is just going to kind of get inflated. So
yeah.
You also have to gauge that aspect. And also, no one's playing defense anyway these days. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to gauge it. This era, Jokic is the greatest center of this era. Hands down, I don't know if anybody could ever top him for this era. Now, if you're comparing eras in all time, I mean, it's got to be, it's got to be figure everything in. Russell and Chamberlain, they played in an era where they were just the dominant big man. I mean, there was no really buddy that could stop them. But
really, why do you think the center and the forward position has I wouldn't say disappeared, but
It's
seems to be
evolved.
well, you got these guys all shooting threes now.
Well, I mean, you can look at the video. It's clear Wemby is a more dominant player in the post than he is shooting threes, but you can't get the kid off of the 3-point line. I mean,
Yeah.
you're 7'4". Nobody can block you in the post. A simple turnaround. It's like Yao Ming doing a turnaround over, Antonio McDyess. It's like pretty much a free for all right there for you.
Yeah, it's changed the game, and I don't know. All I know is this: Tim Duncan, when he was playing, and the players he had to go through,
Yeah,
and the impact, and even before that, really in the 90s, the centers were also very dominant, right? Patrick, Shaq. I mean, dude, Akeem Olajuwon really. I mean, his MVP run absolutely phenomenal. But
yeah,
compared to this era, all these guys are doing is just shooting three. Nobody wants to shoot in the post, Rudy. So they would rather shoot a 3, Rudy, than a wide open 2. It's just mind-boggling.
I understand completely. Tons of comments coming in. Prime Kawhi would have locked Joker up. Kawhi would have done a good job.
Bigger version, but
maybe held him to 40. I don't know, maybe 45. He'd make it a little tough, but no, I mean, he's not really stopping there. Rogue is in here. I played him after I was me and before he was him, and I did okay. Timmy D, and that's a true Tim Duncan quote right there. He did say that about Joker. He did play him after he was him and before he. I played him after I was me and before he was him. But trying to compare primes. I mean, again, I don't think we've seen prime Joker yet. I think we're just getting.
Well, Rudy, he doesn't have
surface.
though. I don't see him having a super long career. He's made comments.
Yeah,
he doesn't
right.
like going
Right.
to. He didn't even want to go to the championship parade.
Yeah,
he
right.
wanted to go back home. He doesn't shake me as someone who is going to put all in for a super long career. Something tells me, Rudy, I wouldn't be surprised if he cut it short.
That's true. He could cut a career short, which then again, if you cut your career short, that kind of messes with your legacy if you have a whole lot on the table still. So we'll see. The Rainbow 3 is pretty much unguardable, kind of like Kareem Skyhook, man. A most unguardable shot in the game of basketball. We got to go to commercial break here in a minute. We'll get to your comments right now. Rudy, did Westbrook's player image take a hit with his mess up last night, not killing the clock and going for a blown layup, fouling the 3-point shooter? So he blew the layup. That was terrible. But they were up, so he could have just killed the clock instead of going for the layup. But the foul at the end, you've got to swallow the whistle on that call. There's no way you make that call at that part of the game there. Definitely not. I don't think Wilt will never be lower than top 3 all time in centers. Why? Because he pretty much every run in the NBA game was made because of him. Great point. And that's the thing. Wilt had all these stats, and I mean, he's got the accolades, but
the championships.
It's the championships, but also you put the rules in because of Wilt, yet you still got a guy who's just as dominant as Wilt, if you think about it. So, I mean, that's a great point, but I have to kind of push back a little on that. At Locked On Spurs, it's like asking for Wizard Jordan took a hit, and I don't think anyone cares at this point. He's already a Hall of Famer. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. They're going to put Russ in the Hall of Fame. Ooh, all right. We're going to get to this before we go to commercial break. We've got a whole bunch of comments coming in. Does Peak Dream wreck Peak Joker? That's a good one.
Yes.
Olajuwon, what do you think? I'm going to let you take the flack on this.
Prime Olajuwon. With his footwork, Rudy, we saw what he did to Shaq in the 95 finals.
And
Shaq,
Dave.
Dude, Rudy, why did you have to do that? I didn't want to think about that.
Because I'm an a-hole. I'm sorry.
To be fair, go look at that stat line. Robinson had a good series too.
He did. He had a great series.
He had a really good series. The Spurs won 2 in Houston, just couldn't win game 5. But anyway, Dave Robinson too. I'm gonna get Dream simply because Rudy, his shake, his footwork. As I said, Jokic is basically the Undertaker. He's basically Undertaker. And Dream's defense was also phenomenal. I think he won a Defensive Player of the Year, really, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did.
So I'm definitely taking Dream here.
There you go. Kahoo, that bum would have gotten schooled by Joker, according to Leha. Shouting out to Jacob Eric, rating the market's own Jacob Eric there. If Jokic cuts it short, I don't want to hear about him being top 3 in any position or top anything. That's exactly what I said a little while ago. If he cuts his career short, especially in his prime, that really takes a toll on his legacy, in my opinion. He's got to play it out. I think he's got to play it out 100%. Gio, imagine then if Jokic really dedicated himself to the game, that's a different story, man.
This is the thing. We talk about this with Shaq, Rudy. I think Shaq, to be fair, I think he underachieved. I think Shaq should have been more dominant, especially in that Laker towards the end. And obviously in Miami, he gained the weight, and then I don't know what happened to him. If Joker got into better shape, Rudy, and could we say greatest ever?
That's what I'm saying.
With that skill set and that work ethic, I'm not saying he doesn't have a work ethic. I'm just saying if he was in better shape, and I think just more committed, and I hate saying this because I know he's committed, but his attitude to me at times just is like, hey, I'll get there, I'll play it, and I just want to go home. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of his attitude. But for what he is right now, Rudy, he's on a trajectory. As you said, he's going to be a top 3 center if he obviously continues. But something tells me, Rudy, this type of – and he's 30 right now, Rudy. Do you see him playing another 6-7 years? That's the thing.
I think so.
Yeah?
I think so. I mean, barring a major injury, I think so. What do you think? You think he goes another 6 years?
He strikes me as similar to Aaron Donald. At some point, he's just going to be, you know what, I'm done. And Aaron retired, year 10, Rudy?
Yeah, I did.
You can't tell me Aaron didn't have at least 3 or 4 more years left.
Bronny James is the greatest center in the NBA. Love that. If Jokic had Brady's drive, sheesh, exactly. I mean, it's all about the drive, man. It really is all about the drive.
Or
one thing where what's up?
Michael Jordan's killer will. Oh, man.
Anything's possible still. His career, to me, is still, he's only 30, and his career is still really, really young. He can finish with all the awards and all the accolades. Bottom line, he's got to win titles. Now, whether he goes somewhere else to win titles, that's the biggest question right there. But one thing for sure, we're going to take a quick commercial break, our first and only commercial break. It's halftime here, a little bit after halftime. When we get back, we're going to be talking about Torpedo bats, and we've got Painting Corners podcast own Austin Hartsfield back in the family again, back on Sweep the League Network again. Painting Corners podcast, that's going to be coming back, believe full-time May of 2026, but you're going to get Austin Hartsfield here for a little bit every time, every now, time and time again. So you're going to get him here tonight talking about Torpedo bats as well as get some baseball preview in. For you baseball guys out there, get your questions ready. See for Austin, he's going to be joining us here for the last part of Sweep the League. It's Coach Gio. It's Rudy Campos Jr. We'll be back here in just a little bit. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting. Building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
Time to react, yeah, shift like a skate. Left, right, lean, it's a bucket in sight. Pull up mid, let it fly, no hype. Fourth quarter ice, keep the rock in my grip. When the clock go red, don't slip, I rip. Fast as allowed, yeah, the motor don't quit. Drop 30 quick, now they begging for a switch. Fox in the open, the lane look free, now allow that up. Win B. And running no team, keep pace. Fox got gears, Wemby got grace. Hoop too high, man, you won't touch. Use first every yeah, time to rush. Speed too real, yeah, check that type. Defenders froze, now they stuck in place. Who gon' step?
You are watching Sweep the League TV. Make sure you subscribe and catch our new videos.
Sweep the League TV with Rudy Darrell and Coach Gio. Let's get back to the live show. You are watching the best in the business.
If they're going to legalize these bets that clearly help the batters, that are going to juice the offensive stats, then Barry Bonds should be put in the Hall of Fame tomorrow.
I heard you say this.
Tomorrow.
Again,
it's the same thing. You're helping out the batter.
Thing.
Yes, it is.
It's not the same thing.
It's the same thing other than the fact that one of them's via the bat, via the equipment, and one of them's an advantage via the body. It's the same thing. Put him in the Hall of Fame if you're going to legalize helping out the batter in this way.
The Twins, the Phillies are using these torpedo bats, and it's probably going to become commonplace across baseball.
Send them to Seattle now, Detroit. Hey, Pizza Man,
Pizza.
them to Seattle now.
All right, as you can tell, the torpedo bats is a big. Let me bring it back to the stage here. A big thing here, and we're going to talk about torpedo bats and baseball preview here in the second half of Sweep the League. It's going to be Coach Gio. It's going to be myself. Shout out to MCS General Contracting. Lehan, the boys, guaranteed to take care of you. They are the proud sponsors of Sweep the League, and not just Sweep the League. They're the proud sponsors of Sweep the League Network and the I Am Refocused Radio Network. What do you get when you subscribe to us here at Sweep the League on YouTube at Sweep the League TV? You get our show, Sweep the League TV, the big show. You get Sweep Unplugged. You get Grading the Market, STL 316. You're going to be getting Painting Corner podcast from time to time. You're also going to be getting I Am Refocused Radio interviews, as they just interviewed the former caddy. What's the guy's name? The former caddy of Tiger Woods. I can't remember. It just off the tip of my head. He was a recent interview here for I Am Refocused Radio, Bez Boys podcast, STL Music. You're getting everything. Guess what? The reason why you're getting everything is because of MCS General Contracting, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Man, here we go. Here, let's bring him on, Gio. It's been forever since you guys have talked. Y'all guys were like best friends from back in the day here, so we got to bring him back. It's the one and only, and the guy that, you know, definitely is going to be making a huge impact here at Sweep the League, because everybody wants to talk baseball. Let's bring it on himself. It's the man, the myth, the legend. What did we used to call him? The most famous person on our whole Sweep the League channel because of who he is.
Yeah, man, he was the big time, man. I mean, the guy was, everyone knew him. Everyone wanted to be with him. I said,
players wanted to be right next to him. They were contacting him to go out and stuff. Let's bring him on, man. It's Mr. Austin Hartsfield himself. Austin Hartsfield, Painting Corners podcast, host and, you know, the founder of Painting Corners podcast. Coming back, I believe, full-time, you said, around 2026, which is the baseball podcast. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hi, Rudy. Y'all are already making me blush, which I don't appreciate. I've been here 5 minutes, and I had to listen to basketball talk, which Rudy and I discussed off air. That I'm so.
There was no Mavs talk though. There was no Mavs talk.
Hey, don't use the M word. It's dark days over here, man.
I get it. So for those that don't know, Austin obviously is a Mavs fan, so we're questioning that from time to time with him now. So we will never talk Mavs when Austin's on, but. Austin, you are bringing back Painting Corners podcast here, and until it actually kicks off full time here on Sweep the League Network, you're doing a lot you're writing for what, the Medium right now?
So right now I'm blogging on Medium, and as of actually yesterday, I will be writing for the Prospect Times for the Amarillo Sada Poodles this year, which is exciting. It's not something that I thought I was going to get to do again, but here we are. I'm back in my element, doing my thing.
There you go, man. So. We'll do baseball. Well, you know what? Let's do the hot topic now. Torpedo bats, you know, the new thing coming out. You see the Yankees, 19 runs and just blasting home runs. Everybody's making a big deal about torpedo bats. With you being our baseball insider, what do you got on this torpedo bat issue? I mean, is it really that big of a deal? Is it something that the MLB is going to look at? Because I even heard that it's actually been approved a long time ago. Nobody just ever used it.
It's within the rules. It's one of those things to where I can't believe it took this long for somebody to decide to modify a bat this way.
Mm-hmm.
For people that don't know, you're basically just moving where the sweet spot on the bat is. And it's helping. It's helping people like Anthony Volpe, who, when he gets jammed like he's in trouble. Now all of a sudden, when he gets jammed, he's hitting the sweet spot of the bat and hitting it out tonight. I kind of feel the same way about this that I do about most things. Is like, if you're going to keep helping the batter, why don't we help the pitchers?
Yeah.
Like, why can't the pitchers just use sunscreen and rosin? Like they say, like you can, but like you really can't. Like, they're checking you after every single inning.
Yeah.
I mean, you're checking your hands, and don't worry, Joe, we'll get to you. I have way too much faith in your Mariners, by the way.
Oh man, you're giving them too much.
We need torpedo bats ASAP, and I believe we're ordering them. I believe we're getting some.
Yeah, but it's been interesting to see Ellie De La Cruz use it. I saw Alex Bregman use it today. Got a couple hits, nothing crazy off the bat though. But you still got to hit the baseball. I think that's hands down the moral of the story. Like, is it helping? Absolutely. Should pitchers be able to use more sticky stuff than they do? Yes. And I'm not saying that they should use spider tack. That's just absolutely ridiculous. But something to help get a grip, not necessarily just to rip the ball.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing. You're right. You're helping the batters out. You got to help the pitchers out. We'll see. MLB's going to have to look at something now. It's within the rules, like you said. That's something that you can't argue. Oh, it's against the rules. You know what? If there's ever a time where you take advantage of a rule book, it's right there. I mean, it's in the rule book. It's within the rules. You can't really argue it right there. But I get it. If you're going to allow the sweet spot to be moved, you've got to be able to help the pitchers in a way. So hopefully everything gets figured out and everything calms down a little bit. I know people are kind of pissed off about it, but for me, it's one of those, it's happening. It's within the rules. Let's see how they kind of combat it on the other side of the ball, which is, obviously for pitching. Talking to Austin Hartsfield, Painting Corners podcast, covers the Sod Poodles and baseball preview. The season's just underway, and I don't want to get into the San Francisco Giants at all.
You should be excited about Elliot Ramos. Come on.
I'm still excited about Elliot Ramos. I still am very excited about it. I don't want to get too excited because I'm a Falcon fan as well. So
at least your team is winning, Rudy.
when the Mavs decided to just end themselves as a franchise, I was like, I'm just going all in on the Sox this year. I don't care what the outlook is. And so I'm all in. Like, I text my mom today after the Sox won. I was like, this team may never lose again. It's like, come on, I'm all in. I'm ready.
Well, and funny, Joel's in here. He's a massive Red Sox fan, so you probably get along with him, and you're definitely on the Painting Corners when you're on there. You're definitely gonna be talking to Joel probably a whole lot. He's gonna follow you and listen to your podcast too.
Joel's gotta be pretty excited about the extensions.
Oh yeah, and he'll definitely comment on here, being that he's a Red Sox fan. But I'm gonna give you the platform here. I mean, I know we're towards the end of the show and all that. I'm gonna give you
a while
because Gio being a Mariners fan.
Okay.
We got to give him some hope. Is there any chance that, I don't know, Jay Buhner walks through that door in a younger form, or I don't know.
Ichiro stays in uniform and just walks out there? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, really man. Is anyone else going to walk out and help Gio in the Mariners?
No, it's JP Crawford,
Hey, easy on JP. I really like JP.
What do you got for Gio, man? We got to help him on his Mariners.
You have the best rotation in baseball. And
we do.
When you have that, absolutely anything's possible. Every single one of those guys in that rotation is must-see TV outside of Emerson Hancock, obviously, which we saw. It was not good.
No.
It was actually probably one of the worst outings that we've seen outside of Kumar Rocker. But I don't know why there was no effort to improve the lineup outside of Rosarena. I thought that was very strange, and I'm somebody that's been pretty defensive of Torpedo over the years, Like when he tore the team down a couple of years ago, traded James Paxton, basically traded that entire roster. I was encouraged by the direction, and now I'm like, when are you going to use some of this to get some bats in here? Like you got J-Rod. J-Rod, as long as J-Rod's breathing, should like live in the top 10 AL MVP range. But I mean, you got to have a little hope whenever you get to trot one of those guys out every 5 days.
No, I completely agree, and the pitching is definitely something that obviously has kept us over the years, and now that staff, I just the inconsistencies. And listen, I get baseball's the highs, the lows, but this offseason,
162, baby.
This offseason, I've told everybody, I said, we're not doing anything. And listen, I like Rowdy Tellez, but look, you need more bats. And Kyle Raleigh, I think it was 2 years ago, Austin, when he made that comment about ownership, saying, hey, like, we need to do something. And they really, I mean, yeah, Randy, I like that. And they got Victor. But, man, they tend to start slow. I'm sure there's going to be some highs and lows. Because remember last year, 10-game lead, right? I'm throwing a parade.
Bring it up.
I'm throwing a parade. And then those freaking Astros, they're like cockroaches, man. They just don't die, this team.
It doesn't matter who's on that roster. They just seem to figure it out.
And you look at the standings. Listen, the Athletics, they got something there. And,
you're already looking at standings?
I'm still looking at standings, but look.
Oh my God.
I saw the series against I saw the series against the Athletics. I'm like, man, they got how come we can't have some of those hitters, right? But look, it's a long season. The pitch is gonna heat up. I think they're still gonna have a chance to make the playoffs, but
yeah.
I mean, J-Rod.
I can give you my playoff teams if you want. They're in there. I got Andres Munoz winning reliever of the year.
He's that guy's
former
phenomenal.
sod poodle.
So I still have a lot of hope. I mean, listen. It's still early. I'm checking the standings just because it's by habit, but no, it's a long season, and I know they're going to have their highs. I just hope they can continue and get to the postseason. But I mean, no signings really. I mean, and it's ownership. They're cheap.
I was disappointed,
dude. I mean, you're looking at standings. You could be one of the best teams in the league and be third in your division.
No, I
mean that's kind of where San Francisco's at right now. Like,
y'all are screwed. Y'all could be really good and be fourth.
I'm taking a look at the standings, and I'm taking it with a grain of salt because it is obviously so early.
Yeah,
and things can change. But so far, the Mariners 3-4. I'll take it.
Yeah, what do you think about this, Austin? He says, Joel says, I say that if MLB will allow the batters to use torpedo bat, they can't bring robot umpires. They can't bring robot umpires that'll force pitchers slow down the middle, and they'll get hammered. That might be something to think about.
So on the automatic balls and strike system, I think I like the way that they're gonna go about this, which is basically like, I mean, it's the challenge system. You can challenge everything in every other sport. Why couldn't you just challenge something in baseball? I mean, we can, but why can't you challenge the most important aspect of the game, which is balls and strikes?
Yeah. I got it. I mean, something's going to give. Something's got to give here.
Yeah.
What I want to ask you here, we're with Austin Hartsfield, MLB insider for us here. Painting Corners podcast coming back, very, very soon here. Everybody's dying to get Painting Corners back on the air here. But because, we live in Texas and because you got those Astros, you got those Rangers, can you give us a little bit of outlook on both of those teams? Right now, the Stros are, 2 games under 500. They're 2-4. Rangers are 5-2. Is it something that we can see continue throughout the year? I know the Astros have, they lost Bregman. They have some ups and downs, and the Rangers. I mean, I don't know if it's false hope or what, but we got everybody in Texas listening to us. So a little bit of preview for Rangers and Astros.
If I was a Rangers fan and you don't win the West this year, I would be really disappointed. I think that Wyatt Langford is going to be just a complete godsend for this team and take them to another level. It's a guy that has kind of all 5 tools. He's shaped oddly like Mike Trout, which always cracks me up. Like they're just these big linebacker looking dudes. I think that Wyatt's going to make a huge difference. You have Jock Peterson in that clubhouse reunited with his best friend Corey Seager, which is always interesting when you look at those two personalities. Jacob deGrom's back.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not watching every Jacob deGrom start, you're missing out. We don't have a lot of these left in his career. You have to take advantage of it while you can. And he looked sharp on Sunday. Leiter looked really sharp today. Evaldi looked absolutely legendary yesterday in his when he threw his Maddox yesterday, a little 99 pitch complete game shutout. You got to figure out the bullpen though. You got to figure out the bullpen, and that's something that's going to need to be addressed at the deadline. Whether it's moving guys like Ornelas, I wouldn't move Sebastian Walcott if they begged me to. I think that guy's going to be really, really, really good. There's just no place to put him right now with him being. Good news is he's young though. So, but Astros, I'm a little confused on. I don't know what to do with the Jose Altuve left field thing still. I haven't really processed all of that. It looks bad. It looks really bad. And I know people are going to tell me like, oh, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. It's like, we watched Jackson Merrill switch from shortstop to center field last year, and it looked pretty seamless. Like, shout out to Jackson Merrill, by the way, got his extension today. But the Astros are a team that I'm just really puzzled on. They lost what I would consider their second best player in Kyle Tucker, because I think Jordan's like all world. There are not many people in his class. It's as far as power, like it's him and Judge. Like they deserve their own little class on their own.
Robbie Ray.
Yeah.
Still can't.
You can't just throw it out there. You gotta actually come. We gotta speak on it, man.
So Robbie Ray comes into the playoffs against the Astros, and it was already decided that Robbie Ray would come in regardless of what happened in that spot. Comes in, and what did he do? Gives up, was a 3-run home run. Yep. The shot hurt her all around Seattle. Sorry, I just had to bring that up. But go ahead.
No, I vent it out. Vent it out. It's all good.
Still very upset about that call, but yeah.
I was talking to Cade today because we were talking about that Yankee team last year. I'm like, you kind of got really lucky because the Rangers weren't healthy the entire year as the defending American League champions, and you kind of skipped your way through a weak American League. That's going to be different this year. I think that Baltimore's really good. I'm not really sure what to do with the West outside of the Rangers at this point. I really like the Mariners. I have the Mariners making the playoffs. The Sacramento A's, as they don't want to be called, I think it's so dumb. Like, they have more talent than people want to admit. Like they're gonna have some bats. Like they just extended Brent Rooker, and honestly, that rotation doesn't look bad. And when you have Mason Miller in that back end, if you could just get to him, it's over. Now, Jose Leclerc, not a good signing. I'm not sure what they saw in those last couple of years in Texas that made them think that was going to work out. But as far as the West, I mean, I think it's Texas to lose. When you can go into a playoff series with Jacob deGrom probably starting game one for you. I know the rotation's a little mixed up right now because they're trying to mess with his usage. But when you can go into game one with Jacob deGrom, and then you basically have the reincarnation of a right-handed John Lester and Nate Eovaldi following that up in game two, one of the greatest playoff performers of this generation. You're 2 games in.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And, speaking of something real quick, I do want to ask you what was a comment made, and it was a question for you, is the American League Central, are they just going to be that bad all year?
Forever?
I mean, this year, at least this year. I mean, you've got no team above 500. Most teams, in fact, all teams I think are at 2-4. I mean, there's just nothing screaming like, the Guardians, from a year ago. People thought the Royals, had the bats. Obviously, they have the youth. But one of the question that was asked was, are we really in a Stranger Things world when it came to the American League Central?
Feels like this happens every couple of years, doesn't it? With the same division, to where it's just like nobody wants to be good. I don't like. Obviously, I don't know anything, but this feels like one of those years, despite him being really excited to be where he is, to where maybe you decide to move Jose Ramirez, and I know that he's your only draw, but there's going to be a big name on the market. We're not exactly sure who it is, and it feels like, I mean, Padres almost pulled the trigger. Can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but they were this close to acquiring Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
I think he goes back on the block again. I don't know if it's like a soft block to where you're kind of listening to offers. I don't know if Nico Harrison knew how to do that. But you're allowed to listen to offers, by the way.
Yeah, you don't have you don't have to actually take the offer if it's on the table.
Yeah.
I get that.
Rob's
Well,
hey, I got something for you.
The one name, I guess the one name me and Gio talked about a while back is this the year we finally see Trout on the move, knowing that he's towards the end of his career? Do you think he just stays with the Angels, period?
That's what's a good basketball equivalent to this? I mean, there really isn't one. They just move all the time. So Mike Trout is like the definition of loyalty. If he does get moved, I don't think that it would be on his own. Like if it would be his decision, I think that it would be a team decision, which if he wants to be the guy that's like, hey, I want to help the franchise that, shepherd me along this far, it seems like he would be one of the guys to do that.
Yeah, I think.
But you literally played with Shohei Ohtani for a couple of years and they couldn't put an entire team around you at all. Like not even in the ballpark. Like they continuously fail to put a team together. Whether it's, signing CJ Wilson, signing Josh Hamilton, signing Pujols back in the day. Yeah. It's the Angels just never seem to pull it together. I mean, they've had one playoff appearance in Trout's entire existence as a baseball player in the majors. And that's just a sad existence if we're being honest.
Yeah, I've always felt that, Trout's a loyal guy. I'm not gonna doubt that ever. I mean, I was trying to think, okay, loyalty.
David Robinson?
I was thinking Steph, but Steph has 4 rings,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Loyal, but didn't win a ring,
It's like
Damian Lillard, kind of.
It's like if Dirk, there you go. Like Dame pre-Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I think Dame enjoyed being the man a little too much a couple of those years. He rode off making that weird Western Conference Finals appearance where they just got mollywopped by that Warriors team, and he rode the coattails of that for a couple of years. But now we're into basketball again. Now I'm about to be sad.
Yeah, no, we have to switch pretty.
We gotta get away. We gotta get away
from basketball here pretty quick, man. Well, dude, I appreciate you joining us up here on Sweep the League, man. You've got Painting Corners podcast. Now, you and I talked. We texted, and it was funny because I told Gio, I was like, "Hey, you'll never guess who I talked to," and he's like, "Who?" I go, "Well, Austin talked about bringing Painting Corners back sometime." He's soon. I'm like, "No, it'd be maybe next year." What are the plans? Because I know people were asking me for a baseball podcast. I kept telling them, hold off. I'm working on it. If you got any details, let them know. What are you planning for Painting Corners?
So my personal favorite part of doing Painting Corners was doing the off-season previews, like the off-season reviews of each team coming in. It was the thing that I put the most effort into. It was the thing that caused me, I had to edit it. At the time, I literally, so when I had Painting Corners before, I edited everything, I cleaned everything up. I mean, there was a couple podcasts where I just sat there eliminating uhs and oohs for a couple of times, just to make it sound a little bit cleaner. Then I realized I was just wasting my time, and that's just how we talk, and we probably just need to get over that. But the plan is that right after the World Series, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have a co-host yet. It might be just me. It might. My ideal situation is that I have a rotating second chair.
Mm-hmm.
And, just so we get some fresh faces in there. That way Gabe can come on if he wants. Dave can always come on if he wants. I mean, those guys will always be a part in Painting Corners. And if they want to hop on anything, they can always do so. But it'll get some fresh voices in there. And basically, we'll start in the off season. We'll go through it. We'll do, free agent predictions. I know it's a long way away, and I know it's a weird thing to start planning, but we've already got graphics ready over here. Like I'm ready to rock. I'm super excited
to have Vlad on your list to go into the Mariners. I just want to.
Did you say Rangers?
Vlad going to the Mariners. Hopefully,
did you say Rangers?
I hope not, but yes, it's possible. But yeah, just want to throw it out there.
There's been weird Vlad Red Sox rumors for the last couple of years, and the organization's really in love with Tristan Casas, which I find fascinating. I would trade Vlad for Tristan Casas in a minute, but I think everybody in the baseball world would. I'm interested to see how the free agent markets act the next couple of years. People are acting like there's never going to be another good free agent again. It's like we just had Juan Soto, we just had Kyle Tucker. You know, like Kyle Tucker is going to be the next big free agent to come up. So I don't think that we're really in jeopardy of that. Seeing a lot more extensions than we usually do, though. So that's interesting to me.
Yeah, and you know what? Joel says he's definitely not sold on Casas.
Me either.
So there you go, man. That's why I told you. I said you're gonna love talking to Austin because Austin, you and Austin are like the perfect match right there when it comes to Red Sox baseball. Now, real quick, I mean, you mentioned Vlad. Is Vlad gonna be that big guy, that big name? Because I figured, well, maybe Trout's gonna finally give in and be like, you know what? Okay, I'll go because I can help an organization, obviously, but I can also bring back some, you know, to help the Angels in return. But is Vlad going to be that big name come trade deadline possibly? Is there somewhere other than Vlad that we may see go? Because it seems to happen year in, year out that we sometimes get a big one.
I don't know what you want as far as big, but I think that if things go south in Toronto, it could be Vlad and Bo Bichette.
Oh, Bichette's the other one. I wouldn't ever have thought Bichette, but yeah.
Yeah, I really like Bo. I mean, we're just, I think, 2 years removed from him leading the league in hits. Had a really weird year last year. Came in this offseason, cut his hair, which made me think of the Jim Morrison quote today. It's like something like nothing ever good came from a haircut or something like that. But I mean, they seem to be okay. But if Toronto goes south, I could see both of those guys being shipped off. You have a lot of expiring contracts on that roster in the next 2 years, whether it's this year or next year. So they have a chance to do a complete reset. Sandy Alcantara is another big one down in Miami to where he could be the big pitcher name on the market. And Dylan Cease still isn't extended in San Diego. Yeah, those Vladdy rumors have been around for a while. It gets me excited. I'm not gonna lie. I'm ready to believe. Like I'm all ready to believe.
Could happen.
Yeah.
There goes Gio. Gio's upset about those Vladdy rumors.
Well, my owner doesn't have any money, so hey.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Tell him to call Brad Pitt and do that whole Moneyball thing
Hey,
again, man.
he should go sell the team and get somebody who wants to spend some money. I mean, he did extend Cal Raleigh. I'll give him that. It's good to see Cal tied up for the next 6 years, but
he's going to become really, really useful. He's already he's already useful. He's like one of the better catchers in baseball. But next year, whenever we have the automatic balls and strikes, I think he was perfect in spring training on challenges. So that's just going to add a whole nother element to that already elite pitching staff. If you have a guy like that has that good of plate recognition.
There you go, man.
You got to be excited about that. Like it's going to become a skill that people need.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. We've got Austin Hartsfield, Penny Corner Podcast, giving you a basic info on when he's coming back, when Penny Corners will be coming back. It's going to be on the network. There's no doubt about that. We're going to be picking it up here on Sweep the League Network, and you're just getting
That's the first time we said that out loud, right?
Yeah, I think it's it's finally where you and I have both said it, on a show. I know I mentioned it past couple of weeks here, but first time we both mentioned it. Now Gio's a part of it now, so he can believe me too. And I think he thought I was just making up the whole Austin Hartsfield thing, and I said, no, I really talked to him. So he's right.
No. Well, I did text Austin after that to confirm, and Austin did confirm, and I spoke to Adam Schefter.
I saw Gio's name on my phone. I was so excited. I was like, let's go. Like I feel like I'm back now. All I wanted to do was talk M's.
Oh God. I know Gio, and Gio's gonna probably hit you up at least 2 or 3 times a day, asking about the M's at least sometime. Where I'm gonna look, couple of months, oh yeah, Giants are in first place, and the end of the season,
I don't think that's gonna
goes that fourth. There goes that fourth.
Let's slow down. You're already 3 games back, and we're 7 games in.
Man, like I said, I've got better expectations for the Spurs finishing 500 on the year than I do the Giants, winning that division.
You have basketball expectations?
Huh?
I said, do you have basketball expectations?
I have zero. I went into the season, and what's sad is that I look at the score, they beat Denver, but then I thought, oh, wait a minute. Denver had their entire team out on, injury report tonight. So they were basically playing with the G League team against the Spurs. So congratulations on the win, man. Austin Hartsfield joining us here on Sweep the League, man. Penny Corners podcast will be back full time here next season. Well, in the off season for baseball. Yeah. Don't worry, it'll go by super duper fast. We promise you on that. But the one thing we got to let you guys know is MCS General Contracting, proud sponsors of Sweep the League Network and Iron Refocus Network, where you can get all the shows, including Penny Corners podcast, when it comes out here on Sweep the League Network. But again, the only way to get that is go to Sweep the League TV on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. Earlier, we did a Val Kilmer tribute. We're going to play that tribute again here on the way out for you guys out there that missed it in the beginning. It's a quick little tribute, but again, Val Kilmer passed away. We shout out to him earlier in the show. But that's it, guys. We're going to be done for the night. We didn't get to AAU basketball talk. We'll do that later in the week, as it's a problem, and it's a huge problem. So we'll get into that more later on. But we thank Austin Hartsfield for joining us here on Sweep the League tonight. For Austin, for Derek Gervin, who's still trying to get on the show, but he's coaching, man. He's coaching left and right, so he's trying his best to get back on the show. For Coach Gio himself, it's Rudy Campos Jr. Until we sweep the league again tomorrow, we'll see you later, Knuckleheads.
Needs Maverick. The kid needs Maverick. That's why I fought for you. That's why you're still here.
Thank you, Rice, for everything.
One last thing. Who's the better pilot? You or me?
This is a nice moment. Let's not ruin it.